Hey guys, it's Valerie. Today we're going to be doing a stability ball workout for our full body. You can have weights if you want to, but it is not mandatory. But I'm going to grab mine just so I have them nearby, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Grab that ball, and we're and lay our bellies down on that ball. Plant the hands down on the ground. We're just going to start with some nice gentle bird dogs. We're going to lift our right leg up nice and high and lift that left arm up nice and high and then switch it out. Reach and lower. Now, if you want to take this with weights in your hands, feel free to do that. We're just warming up the spine, warming up the entire body, getting ready for our workout. Breathing here. Gazes down at the floor to protect that neck. Here we go. Last 3. Last 2. One more each side. Lift it up. Nice job. Let's come down onto our knees. We're going to take our hands onto our block, kind of make a triangle shape with your fingers. And we're going to do a couple of rollouts to warm up that core, roll it out, and then come all the way back in. Notice that from my knees to my shoulders, I'm in a straight line. My gaze stays down at that stability ball, and I'm using my core here to see how far I can roll out and come all the way back in. All the way out as much as you can before that belly starts to drop, and then you're going to come all the way back, lower out, lift back up. Nice job. One more time, roll it out, and then rise all the way back up. We're going to move into some Bulgarian squats, some split squats. Option to take your weights if you want a little extra weight on your booty here. We're going to take one foot, place it on that stability ball behind us, and the opposite foot is going to go forward. Hands can be in prayer. Maybe you're holding weights. Maybe you have something for some stability here, and we're going to roll that leg out behind us and then rise all the way back up. Roll out nice and long, and then rise up. Really try to push into the top of that foot on that ball. Make sure it's nice and stable. Using our balance here, using that core, rolling it out, really feeling that in that front glute here. Try to make sure that that knee doesn't go past that toe. If it does, you really want to focus on extending backwards and then rising up. It's okay here if you need to have your hand on a chair or the wall for support. Just try to be light on that finger wherever you're at. We've got a couple more here. Lower and lift. Nice, slow and controlled movements. Really feeling that in that left booty. Keeping that chest up nice and high, not rounding forward. Beautiful. One more. Roll it out and hold here. Squeeze that left booty. Ground down into that left foot. And then let's rise up. We're going to take our ball to the side. Roll that ball out. Place that foot on the ball. Again, if you need anything for support, feel free to take a hand on a chair or maybe on the wall. And we're going to come into some side lunges. So we're going to sit that booty back and rise up. Lower down and lift. Gaze down at that knee. Make sure that that standing knee doesn't go past those toes. If it does, sit it back into the heel a little bit more. Keep that chest nice and tall. If you want to have your weights here, feel free to grab those. Lower and lift. Sit that weight back down into the heel. Additional challenge is to point those toes of that foot on the ball towards the sky. Lower and lift. Get a little inner thigh stretch while we work the booty of that opposite leg. Lower down and rise up. You got this. Find that breath. Breathe here. Last 3. Last 2. And 1. Lower and hold here. Point those toes up. And then let's rise up, and we're going to switch it out. So this time, opposite leg is going to come up onto the ball. For me, that's my left leg. Opposite foot forward. I like to kind of roll that ball back so that I can get nice and deep in my lunge. If you had weights on the other side, grab them here. Let's lower down and rise back up. Lower nice and slow and lift up. Bending into that front knee, really feeling that in that right glute. Sit it down and rise up. Gaze down at those toes. Make sure that knee doesn't go past those toes. Sit it back a little deeper if it does. Weight in that right heel as you push that left leg back. Nice job. Use whatever you need here for support, or maybe you've got your hands on a couple of weights. Breathe. Pull that belly in nice and tight. Strong core is going to help us have good balance here. Lower and lift. Nice job. We've got 2 more, and we're coming in for that hold. Lower down and hold here. Squeeze that booty nice and tight. Draw down into that right heel, and then rise up. Let's go ahead and switch it out. Take that ball to the opposite leg. Extend that leg out nice and long. We're going to come down for our side lunges. Lower down and rise up. Lower and lift. Now having my foot parallel on the ball is going to make it a little easier. Having the toes point up towards the sky is a little bit trickier. So take what challenge you'd like. Maybe you have hands in your weights. Weights in your hands. Lower and lift. Lower down, drive through that right heel. Lower and lift. Keep that belly pulled in nice and tight. We're here for 3. Last 2. And 1. Lower down. Nice job. Okay. We're going to go ahead and grab 1 weight. If you've had 2 this entire time, you can feel free to keep 2 weights in your hands. Slide leg back as we come back in for our Bulgarian squats. But this time, we're going to take that weight by your chest. We're going to lower down into that Bulgarian split squat. Twist to the left. Come back up. Rise back up through center. Lower down. Twist. Come back up and rise up. Now, if you want a little bit more for the arms, you're going to come down, twist, rise up, lift up, down. Come all the way up, straighten that left leg. Lower down, twist, center, rise up the arms. Stand all the way back up. Nice job. You got this. Twist it out, rise up, lift, and stand all the way back up. We've got 1 more. Twist it out, back through center, rise up, and lift. Beautiful. We're coming in for our side lunges, and this time you're going to take both weights if it feels okay. Take that foot on that stability ball. Make it parallel just so that we have more stability with weights in our hands. And we're going to lower down. When we lower, we're going to lift up with the arms and then come all the way back up. Squat it down, shoulder press, rise up. Try to keep the thumbs pointing towards the shoulder for this one. A little push press here. Lift, lower, rise. Lower, lift the arms, squeeze that belly in nice and tight. Bend down into that leg, lift, and up. You got this. Only a couple more. Feeling the burn in the legs, burn in the arms. Lower, lift, down, rise up. And we're going to go ahead and switch it out. Drop 1 weight down. And we're going to take that foot on that ball, slide it out, find your depth. Take that weight towards the chest. We're going to squat it down, twist, come back, rise up. Find that balance here before we add the arms. Twist it out, rise back up. Let's add those arms. Twist, lift those arms up nice and high, lower, rise up. You got this. Nice, slow and controlled motions here. Working that core, working our shoulders, and working that booty. Rise up, lower down, you guys. We've got 1 more after this. Lift up, rise up. 1 more time. Twist, lift, back through center. Let's come into our side. Grab your other weight. And we'll take that foot on that ball. Keep that foot nice and parallel. Hands come onto those shoulders almost. Thumbs pointing towards the shoulders. Elbows pointing forward. Lower down, lift, push up. Try to keep those elbows drawing towards each other. That's going to work a little bit more of the front shoulder. You got it. Lower, lift up, and then rise up. You got it. Sink it down, lift it up. Feel that burn in that right leg. Burning in the shoulders. You got this. We got 1 more. Lower, lift, and then come back through center. For this next one, option to take those weights if you'd like to, but it's definitely not mandatory. You're gonna need a wall for this. And then if you don't have a wall, you're just gonna leave your ball on the ground, maybe even up against a chair or something, and you're just gonna take squats where your booty touches the ball. If you have a wall, we're gonna head there now. Hopefully I don't knock my sign over. Feet are gonna be underneath the hips. And the nice thing about having a ball is that you can kind of lean back and make sure that you sink nice and deep into those heels. So we're gonna lower all the way down, rise all the way back up, roll down that wall, push your back into the wall, engage the booty, put the weight into the heels. You have nothing to worry about for falling backwards. So sink it down nice and low. See if maybe you can get those hips to be parallel to the floor, the thigh bone, hips and knees in line with each other. Lower down, drive through the heels, lift up. You got this, nice job. Breathing here. Lower it down. Squeeze that booty as you rise up. Lower, squeeze all the way up. You got it, nice job. One more time. Squeeze, and let's go ahead, take that ball onto the ground. For this one, we're gonna come down onto our hands, onto a plank on the ball. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do shoulder taps with a push-up. So from here, we're gonna lower down, lift up, tap the shoulder. Lower down, lift up, tap the shoulder. Notice that shoulder tap takes a little bit of balance on that ball. You got this, working those shoulders here. Breathing, lift, lower down. You got it. Try to make sure that those hips don't sink down towards the ground. Now, the more your toes are on the ball, the harder this will be. The more your thighs are on the ball, the easier it'll be. So maybe this round you start with the thighs on the ball, and then we'll work into a challenge after. Nice job. 2 more. You got this. Lower, lift, tap it out. Lower, lift, tap it out. Nice. Let's roll backwards. Grab that ball. Try not to knock into anything. We're gonna come in for some rear delts. So for this one, we're gonna lay our belly on the ball, grab our weights. We're gonna have our arms together, and we're just gonna pull out towards the side, elbows towards each other, and lift. Down and back. Now you can be on your toes if you'd like, a little more challenging for that core. Lift and lower. You got this. Nice job for 3. Last 2 and 1. Let's place that down. And this time we're gonna come into rise to W's. So now if you don't wanna have your weights in your hand, you don't have to. This is a little bit more challenging. Hands are gonna come down towards the ground. We're just gonna start with Y's. So think about creating a Y with your body. We're gonna lift the arms up and lower. Now, if you have heavier weights, this might be a little challenging, so it might be easier to bring your knees onto the ground, or maybe just leave your weights and focus on keeping that back nice and straight, and just squeeze those shoulder blades together. No need to go crazy here. Work in that back, and if you find when you grab your weights that you round forward and you start to lose your quality, drop those weights down. We're working the back of the shoulders, the whole back chain for 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Let's come back to those wall sits. We're gonna take the ball up against the wall. This time we're gonna grab our weights. We're gonna lower down into our squat, do a little bicep curl, and then rise all the way back up. Lower, bicep curl, rise all the way up. You got this. Nice job. Lift. Really push that low back into the ball if you need to, just for support. See how low you can get those hips to sink down. Squeeze that booty on the way up. You got this. Breathe here. We're not here for very much longer. Keep that belly in nice and tight. Lower, curl, and lift. 1 more. Lower. Let's take 2 curls down at the bottom. Rise all the way up. All right. Drop those weights. We're gonna come back into those push-ups on the ball, but this time we're gonna add a little pike. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna kind of walk out, try to get your shins on the ball if you can, push up, pike, bring the shoulders and the hips in line. Drop it down for a push-up, lift the hips up nice and high. Lower, lift, hips. You got this. Find that nice deep breath. Try to keep those hips from sagging down. Lift, down, and lower. You got this. 1 more. Lift those hips up nice and high. And then we're gonna drop it down onto our back on the ball. So let's grab 2 weights, and we're gonna make our way onto a seat on our ball, roll it out, and we're gonna do some tricep extensions. So you wanna make sure your head is nice and square on the mat or on the ball. I'm out of breath, words are hard. We're gonna do some tricep extensions, so keeping the elbows in line with the shoulders. We're gonna bend and lift, lower and reach. You got this. Breathing here. For now, we're keeping those elbows stacked on top of the shoulders. But in 2 more, we're gonna extend the arms and reach them overhead. So we're gonna reach and then bend. Keep those arms straight as you reach up overhead. Lower and lift. This time we're working a little bit more into our lats. That space that hovers right above our bras in the back. We wanna get all that nice and tight. Lower and lift. Nice job. You got that. 1 more. And let's go ahead, rise all the way up and drop those weights down. We're gonna make our way onto our back and take our ball with us. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and extend our legs nice and high to the sky. Keep that ball with us. We're gonna reach up and then legs come down, passing that ball off. One of my favorite core workouts, getting a lot of the inner thigh as well, which helps with our pelvis. So we're getting all the way down into our low belly, keeping the head, neck, and shoulders off of the mat for an additional challenge. Lift up and lower. You got this. We're only here for a little bit longer, burning out that core. Last one. Pass it off. This time we're gonna take the ball, keep it in between the feet, and we're gonna come into bicycles with the ball. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna extend those legs up nice and high. Take the hands behind the back. We're gonna bend one knee, bring the elbow towards that knee, and straighten. This is very challenging. Try to keep that ball in between the ankles. Lower and lift. 1 knee to elbow. You got it. Crossing it over. Try to lift up from that shoulder. Keep those legs lifted. Nice bend in the knees here. Feel that in that core. Nice job. We're almost there, guys. Burning it out for 3. Last 2. And 1. Lower all the way down. Let that ball slide out from underneath you. Let's come into a nice little core stretch here. Drop the belly. Puff the chest through the shoulders. And on the exhale, let's round the spine, sink the hips down towards the heels, forehead down towards the mat. Awesome. Make sure you stretch, make sure you hydrate. My name is Valerie. Thanks for joining.